first grade. This will be math lesson 110. You had some assessments to do, but we have finished all of our subtraction problems. That's when we finished our minus nines. So we are going today to learn how to multiply by fives, okay? Multiplying by fives. If I had a group of pennies, like maybe these pennies, and I know I'm pretty good at counting by fives. I don't want to brag or anything, but I know you are too. So I'm going to put these pennies in groups of five. So if I lay them out, okay, so I have now made these pennies. I put them in groups of five. Now, how many groups of five do I have? Yeah, I have three groups of five. Three groups of five. But we've already talked about how mathematicians love a shortcut, and there is a shorter way to write groups of. Then I can actually, instead of using the words groups of, then I can say 3 times 5. Three groups of five can also be said as 3 times 5, because remember, multiplication is called equal group stories. If you have equal groups, you can multiply the numbers or count the groups, okay? If I had this, I can count by five. So what do I have? 5, 10, 15. So three groups of five, or 3 times 5 is 15. That's right, I counted by fives. And remember, using the multiplication, the times sign, multiplication or times, is our shortcut way for mathematicians to write groups of. They are equal groups, so I can count by fives. So let's go ahead and take a look at these multiplying by fives, okay? Which is really, can I just say, counting by fives. If you had 0 groups of 5, how many do you have? That's right, 0. Da, 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 because he is the king of multiplication. Anything times 0 is 0. What if you had one group of 5? What do you have? 5. What if you have 2 groups of 5? 10. What if you had 3 groups of 5? And you could say 5, 10, 15, that's my answer. 4 groups of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, that's my answer. 5 groups of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. What about 6 groups of 5? 30. 7 groups of 5. 35. 8 groups of 5. 40. 9 groups of 5. 45. And what if you had 10 groups of 5? Remember, anything times 10 stays the same. Bring the 0. That's right, it would be 50. Okay? So here we really did just count by fives. So when you are multiplying by fives, you're counting by fives. Let's go ahead and take a look at lesson worksheet 110-1A. Can you find that worksheet that looks like this? Okay. All right, now let's take a look at box A. How many pennies? I need to stop shaking that. I'm so sorry. I'm bumping that table, just making things shake. Let me try again. Sorry, pardon me. Chair on the table, a chair on the floor. Box A, we have 3 groups of 5. Well, we're just counting by fives. Count with me. Ready? 5, 10, 15. How many pennies? That's right, 15. Does it change? Here we have 3 times 5. Here we have 5 times 3, which is a completely different, no, because of our commutative properties of multiplication. Say it again, commutative, say it again, commutative properties of multiplication. They can trade places and get the same answer. So we have 15 pennies. What if you had, look at box B, one group of 5 pennies? What do you have? That's right, you have 5 pennies. 5 times 1, as we know, anything times 1 stays the same. Here, let's count. Count by fives. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20. So 4 groups of 5 is, it's 20 pennies. 20 pennies. Even if they trade places, you get the same answer. 2 groups of 5. Count with me. 5, 10. That's your answer. 5 pennies times 2 equals 10. 0. Wait a minute. Do you see any pennies? I don't see any pennies. Our answer is 0. And it's still 0. All right, let's turn it over. We are going to work the back together. Okay, it will just take us a moment because we are so good at fives. It's amazing. Hey, wait a minute. Now we have to count the groups. How many groups do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here, let me get a different piece because that one, my pen soaked through. All right, we had 7 groups. 7 groups of 5 pennies. Now let's count by fives. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So 7 groups of 5 pennies is, or rather, they are 35 pennies. 5 pennies times, what did we fill in? 7 groups, and it is, stays the same. They can trade places, it stays the same. How many groups do we have here? Oh my goodness, what's exciting is I'm really good at counting by threes also. How about you? Let's sing it. Ready? 3, 6, 9. 9 groups of 5 pennies. Now let's count by fives. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. How many pennies? 45. So 5 pennies times 9 groups equals 45 pennies. How many groups do we see here? That's right, 5 groups of 5 pennies. Count with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's right. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 5 is 25. All right, let's look down here. Letter I, okay? How many groups do we have? 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 groups of 5 pennies. Count with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 8 groups of 5 pennies equals what? 40 pennies. 5 pennies times 8 groups equals 40 pennies. Remember, they can trade places and you get the same answer. How many groups do you have here? 3, 6, that's right, 6. 6 groups of 5 pennies, or 6 times 5, count with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, that's right. So 5 pennies times 6 groups equals equals 30. All right, but there is actually another useful and helpful way to count by fives. We can also use, everybody get out sheet 110-1C, we can also use a clock to help us multiply by fives, okay? Because how many minutes are there between 12 and 1? 5 minutes. How many minutes between 12 and 2? 10 minutes, that's right. How many minutes between 12 and 3? 15 minutes. How many minutes between 12 and 4? What do you see happening? 5, 10, 15, 20. Let's go ahead and fill in the rest of the clock. 25, 30, or half hour. 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and an hour or 60. So you can see that we can use the clock face to use, or rather practice counting by fives, counting and multiplying by fives. All right, because you can say to yourself, what's 1 times 5? 5. What's 2 times 5? 10. What's 3 times 5? 15. What's 4 times 5? 20. What's 5 times 5? 25. What's 6 times 5? 30. What's 7 times 5? 35. What's 8 times 5? 40. What's 9 times 5? 45. What's 10 times 5? 50. What's 11 times 5? 55. What's 12 times 5? 60. So there's some more practice, and I will let you fill this in. What's 1 times 5? 5. And then at the bottom, it doesn't matter if they're written horizontal or if they're written vertical, your answers, it doesn't matter if they say the 5 as the second number, it doesn't matter if 5 is the first number. Your answers will be the same. So you can use the clock to finish that page. Why don't you go ahead and put that to the side? I'm going to do, you can finish that after you finish the video. And so let's put that to the side and get out one more thing. Problem solving worksheet 110A. Okay, this is our UPS check. We're going to read to understand. We're going to make a plan. Here's the plan we're going to practice. Make an organized list. We're going to solve it, and then we'll check to see if we're right. Okay, we'll do the front together, and then you guys can do the back as homework. All right. On Wednesdays, the children at West Cliff School can buy hot dogs, hamburgers, or chicken nuggets. They can drink milk or juice. Show the different ways Carrie can buy one of the meals and one of the drinks. So what is something we know in this problem? Yeah, that there are, it looks like 3 choices for food: hot dogs, hamburgers, and chicken nuggets. That's one thing we know. What else do we know about this problem? Yeah, it looks like there are 2 choices for drinks. You can either drink milk or juice. So how can we plan, what kind of plan can we make to solve this problem? Well, let's make an organized list. What is one way Carrie can buy a meal and a drink? Well, let's go ahead and just start. If we're going to make a list, let's start with the first thing, hot dog. Carrie could buy a hot dog. And then what could Carrie have to drink with that hot dog? What's the first thing on the list? Milk. So maybe Carrie gets milk, a hot dog and milk. That's one of the choices. All right. Now, another way to buy the same meal. Maybe you get the hot dog again, but we know there's a different drink. What else could Carrie get? Juice. That's right. So he could get a hot dog with milk or a hot dog with juice. Can he do anything else with the hot dog? No, those are the two food choices with the, the two drink choices. So he's all out of choices. And the next thing maybe is a hamburger. Carrie could get a hamburger. What was the first drink choice? Milk. That's right. So maybe hamburger and milk. What's the other food choice? Well, we'll stay with our hamburger. What's the other drink choice? Juice. Is there anything else we can do with the hamburger? No. You can have a hamburger with milk or a hamburger with juice. What's the third food choice? Nuggets. Let's just write nuggets for a little bit of a shortcut. Nuggets with what to drink? Yeah, we're saying milk as our first choice, or Carrie could get nuggets with juice. Are there any other food choices or drink choices we missed? No. So we solved the problem by making an organized list. We started with the first thing and added the first thing. We started with the first thing and did the second. And as we did our list, we used all our choices so we know that we are right. Now, you'll do the back part as homework. All right, first grade, that was lesson 110 for math. Thanks for your good listening. Bye-bye.